first of all, just tell us about preclearance and what that means and the changes that have been made in the United States.
Well, preclearance really means that Americans traveling through an airport like Nassau Airport to go back home, they will preclear in the Bahamas so that once they get home, they have no further formalities. But in reality, what it also means is that it makes us as an airport in a destination, we're treated almost like a US domestic destination, because the airlines can then fly from a domestic gate at their airport, at the home airport, into Nassau Airport without having to go back into an international terminal gate. So the process is simple, it's easy, it makes it convenient, particularly for people with connections. We've had preclearance for 41 years. So we have had a lot of experience with it, and actually we've used it very effectively as a marketing tool because we are a destination that's popular with Americans, and so preclearance makes us that much more competitive.
Now, the preclearance concept is being expanded around the world, so are there lessons that are good and bad in terms of dealing with it for 4 decades, as you mentioned?
Well, I think that it is interesting that it's expanding around the world, and I understand why, clearly. We're in an age where more and more Americans are traveling, and I think preclearance brings with it a certain level of comfort that, there's some safety considerations that lend themselves to the whole preclearance effort in terms of scrutiny, screening, and all of that. For us, the improvements that have occurred have been really, really significant for us, because about a year ago we introduced a new tool in the preclearance sort of arsenal, which is that of the automated passport control. So we installed 20 kiosks last February of 2015, which allowed us then to have people sort of self-screen. In preclearance. So it went from a process of an average of 9 or 10 minutes with an officer to you actually self-screening at a kiosk in about 60 seconds. So it's dramatically improved the entire process. The queue time is virtually nil. You can almost walk up to a kiosk and in 60 seconds you're done. You get a receipt, you show it to an officer, and you're off. What it has done is resulted in much more dwell time for those passengers, so they're spending more money. So as an airport, that certainly is something that matters to us, and so we were really pleased to have the benefit of the automated passport control as a US CBP tool that we decided to avail ourselves of.
And that sounds very much like a win-win situation. I guess what's key in the automated environment is that the passengers feel comfortable and confident using it, and it's intuitive, I guess, and then it's easy to use.
Yes, indeed. It is intuitive. The instructions are very, very simple. It's in a couple of languages. So people feel good using it, they're comfortable using it. But beyond that, we also provide a team of staff that we call our Apc Ambassadors, who are there to offer any assistance if somebody gets stuck. And that works extremely well. In fact, it was a condition that the US CBP attached to it, that we would have somebody there who would assist passengers who would need that extra assistance. And it works extremely well. So it makes it a very easy process for everybody. And people love it. They just love it.
You brought the message from the Bahamas here to share. Tell me about coming to the conference and your thoughts on being able to network here and talk about your experiences.
Well, it is my first time at this particular conference, and I'm delighted to be here, and I'm pleased to have been invited to speak about preclearance because it is something that we've had a lot of experience with and has served us extremely well. We're one of only a couple of countries in the Caribbean region that have preclearance, so I think for me to be able to bring that sort of perspective is very, very useful to the panel. And this conference I find to be an interesting one because it's a good mix of exhibitors and delegates like myself who, I have nothing to exhibit, but certainly I'm observing all of the latest and greatest technology available to airports, some of which we're already using, but some of which is just amazing. There's always something new to look at and to consider, and so I have some ideas, and I've met some great people who I'll be following up and having some conversations with. So I think overall this conference has served us extremely well. I'm so delighted to be here. Cologne is an interesting city. This is my first time attending it, and everybody's just been very, very helpful and very, very friendly. It's been a great few days so far.